It's your boy, Mad Max. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about how to have a social life and make friends while living with muscular dystrophy. So I'm going to break it down into 4 key points to always remember how to make friends, how to socialize, how to meet people while living with muscular dystrophy or any sort of physical disability. And by the end of this video, it'll be crystal clear as to what needs to be done and how to do it. So let me just get right into it. So my first point is about putting yourself out there. That's right, just diving in, not being afraid of what other people have to think, what they have to say, just going for it in any situation. Say hi to people, be friendly, just put yourself out there, be brave, be confident, and guess what? People will meet you halfway. People will meet you halfway and realize this person is putting a lot of effort to get to know me, to be friendly, and it goes a long way. Here's a quote I'd like to read. To be vulnerable, to really put yourself out there and lean into it, is to live courageously. And there are no truer words than those. Just being brave, being courageous, you'll get a lot of respect. People will want to be around you. You're the kind of person that's brave, that's not afraid to say what they have to say and do it. And that takes a lot of courage that a lot of people do not have. And it doesn't matter whether you're able-bodied or disabled. Being vulnerable, being courageous, and leaning into that is something everyone will appreciate and respect about you. I guess this is very similar to my first point, but my second point is to talk to everyone. Women, men, children, whoever it is, just talk. Put yourself out there. And if you're shy at first and it's difficult at first, don't worry about it. Through practice, you'll become better. You'll become so good that talking to anyone, it'll be almost instinctual. It'll be very easy. And you might be saying, well, it's very easy for you to say, but you're talking to someone that suffered through social anxiety through a great part of my high school life back when I was in my late teens. So I understand. I've been there. I know how difficult it is to put yourself out there. I know how difficult it is to put yourself out there while also living with a physical disability. I've been there, and it is really tough. I'm not going to say it's easy, but anything will take practice. And making friends and socializing, it's no different. It really isn't. And once you start doing it, you'll really start feeling good about yourself. You know, part of having social anxiety is that it's almost a loop where you're too scared to do it, so you don't do it, so you don't talk, then you don't put yourself out there, and you start feeling bad about yourself. And unfortunately, there's no other way to break that other than just socializing and putting yourself out there. Moving on to my third point, having close friends you can trust. And this is super important, not only if you're able-bodied, but if you're disabled and you need help in certain instances. Maybe you need help with the bathroom. Maybe you need help getting in and out of a car. Whatever it is, you need friends that you can trust. Another quote I'd like to read for you is, "Friendship is not friendship without trust. Without it, I walk alone." Or I guess in my case, I roll alone. But in all seriousness, having friends that you can trust is very valuable. I really don't know where I'd be without all my friends that have helped me through tough times, have helped me in instances where being disabled, being in a wheelchair, it's not conducive for the space that we're in. And another thing that's important is having friends that are accommodating and understanding and realize that, sure, maybe we won't go rollerblading together, maybe we'll go to the movies, maybe we'll go to the bar. There are plenty of things you can do even while having a disability. It's just about going and finding out. And with friends that you could trust that have your back, it makes it even easier. Piggybacking off of this point, I want to talk about the last point, which is also very important. Scoping things out to ensure that things are accessible. Again, this is about logistics. Logistics to figure out whether a place is accessible, whether it's not, what you can and cannot do. Unfortunately, so many times people living with a disability only focus on what they can't do. But there's still a lot of things you can do. You can make friends. You can have a girlfriend. You could have a relationship. You could get stronger. There's so many things. And unfortunately, even when it comes to having a social life, we put self-limiting beliefs on ourselves. Look, I've been there. I used to think I couldn't do X, Y, and Z. I used to think that dating was difficult. I used to think that even making friends was a challenge because of my wheelchair. And guess what? I've realized that that's not necessarily the case. Sure, it makes things harder than they otherwise would be if I wasn't in a wheelchair, but that's where planning comes in. That's where looking at logistics and realizing, okay, I can go here, I can't go there. I can go to this park, I can't go up this flight of stairs. And also, you need to be realistic with yourself. There's certain things that obviously you can do and certain things that are really pushing it for you to do. That being said, the sky's the limit. Although I'm in a wheelchair, I could go skydiving. And that's really impressive that things are really that accommodating. That being said, obviously I'm not running, I'm not jogging anytime soon. So it's about being realistic. So just to crystallize and talk about my 4 main points of this video, the first one being putting yourself out there, just not being afraid to do it and going for it. Going for it socially, going for it in any realm. For the sake of this video, we're talking about going for it in the social realm. My second point is talking to everyone. Although this takes practice, and at first you might be shy, you might be filled with social anxiety, once you practice, it becomes easier over time. My third point, having close friends you can trust. Without trust, you don't have any sort of relationship. And trust is super important when you're in a wheelchair, when you're physically disabled, where there are things you can do and things that you can't do. And my last point is scoping things out and looking at logistics wherever you go. Maybe a bar might have stairs, maybe a bathroom might not be accessible in certain places. Unfortunately, certain places are still not accessible, and it's a real damn shame that it's like that. But there's still tons of places that are accessible, tons of places that are willing to make accommodations. Many people are willing to make accommodations. So don't be afraid to ask, don't be afraid to talk, don't be afraid to open your mouth, because people are always willing to help, whether it's a stranger or not. Just talking from my own experience, a couple years back, I went to the St. Patrick's Day parade in the city, and when we got off the subway stop, there was probably 2 or 3 flights of stairs, and I was with my mom and a couple of other friends, and we were thinking, how on earth are we going to get down these flights of stairs? And guess what? Some random Good Samaritan came along and said, here, let me help you. And he literally lifted me down 2 or 3 flights of stairs. Another story I could bring up. This one time at the movie theater, my friends wanted to bring me all the way to the back, to the top. And guess what? A really nice guy came and said, no problem, I'll lift you into the seat. And sure enough, I didn't even know this guy. And he brought me in and out of the seat. And that's what you have to be on the lookout for. Sure, there are a lot of mean people that only look out for themselves, but there are tons of people willing to help. And there are tons of people that don't know how to help, and they're afraid to say something. So in those instances, don't be afraid to ask. There will always be someone willing to help. We all need a little help. And that's why I created Maximus Moves, with the goal of improving mind, body, and soul. Maximus Moves is a health and fitness coaching program for individuals living with physical limitations such as myself. If you're interested and want to find out more, book a one-on-one call with me. Link is in the description below. If you also want to join my private Facebook group for other like-minded individuals who are motivated to live a happy, healthy life despite limitations, link is also in the description. Hope to see you there. Again, living with a disability is really, really challenging, and I hope to make it easier for those down the line and people in the same shoes as me. That being said, I know how few resources there really are for people living with disabilities like myself, and that's why I hope to be that resource. I hope to help other individuals living with disabilities to live a more fulfilling, happy life. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Until then, it's your boy Max, over and out.